वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु ji ki fateh. Welcome to lesson 3 for the Mool Mantra and Japji Sahib curriculum for Gurbani study. So today we're going over the phrase Karta Purakh. And literally, Karta, as your facilitator has already told you, refers to the doer. And the facilitator hopefully has already gone through the 4 different types of Kartas that God is shown as being in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So we have Kadar Karta, the creator God, Sambhalan Karta, the maintainer God. We have Data Karta, which is the giver God. And last we have Sikhavanar Karta, which is the teacher God. And again, just to clarify, there is of course one God in Sikhism. In Sikhi, we believe in one eternal, all-powerful God. However, these are all just different characteristics of God. So God is a creator, he's a maintainer. He's a teacher, he's a giver. So of course there's only one God, but he appears to us in several different ways in the doer form, in the karta form, as seen here with these 4 different types of karta. And the Sikhavanhar karta in particular leads to a parent-child relationship, as your facilitator has mentioned before as well. Okay. But I want to get more into the first one, Kadar Karta, the creator God. This is the type that is sort of most prevalent in terms of writings on this word, as well as in Bani as a whole. You see Kadar Karta appear several times. So let's go over what does the creator actually mean? What does it mean for God to create as opposed to, one of us creating, just a regular human being creating? Well, I want to compare a construction worker creating, let's say, a house versus God creating really anything. Let's say God creating animals. So you have a construction worker making a house and you have God creating animals. So you look at the construction worker. So this construction worker is building a house. He first has to go out and buy the materials. So, for example, the construction worker needs to buy wood, needs to buy, bricks, needs to buy metal and glass for the windows and all several different types of materials that he needs to go buy from some other place, maybe even several different places. He has to collect and buy all of those materials, come back to the job site and begin using those materials to construct the house. Okay? So he buys the materials from outside, and then after he buys the materials and he constructs the house, he has no control over the house, right? Because he was hired to build it by someone else that owns that land. So once the house is constructed, it's finished, it's good to go, the construction worker leaves the property, right? The house is sold to some other person. The construction worker no longer has any control over that house. And he abandons the one building that he created. There's no ownership involved in this transaction. The construction worker builds the house and then leaves after it's built. He does not care for it. He does not own it. He has no control over it. He abandons the house. That's one form of creation. This is more common in our world, in the human world. But let's switch to what God creates. So let's say God is creating animals or humans or plants or any living creature. First of all, everything that God creates is self-created, meaning God does not have to go buy different materials to construct whatever he's going to create. Now, if God is trying to create animals or let's say human beings, he does not have to go to a store to buy skin or buy blood or buy hair. No, everything is self-created. He creates everything on his own. He does not have to go to other places to buy those materials to construct whatever he's making. And furthermore, God has ownership and complete control over his creation. He does not create us or animals or plants or bacteria or water and then leaves and decides, you know what, I created humans and now I'm stepping out. Now whatever you want to do is fine. I don't really care anymore. Do what you will. I'm gone. Absolutely not. God is present within every single creation. Every single human being, animal, plant, water, bacteria, the air, right? This is the Sadgun form of God that we talked about a few weeks ago. The physical, the physical form of God that's in every single living being. So God does not abandon his creation as a construction worker did, but rather he sits inside of his creation. He owns his creation. He controls it. He has a sense of ownership. He certainly does not abandon his creation. Okay, so that is a huge difference there between God creating and us human beings creating something. We talked about the materials where the creation is coming from for the construction worker, and then afterwards, whether the construction worker has control over the property, stays with it, or leaves. And the difference, I think, is pretty strong between the two examples. So hopefully this helps clarify what exactly God is as a creator. What does it mean for him to create? And how does that compare to our notion of creation just in our regular human physical world? Okay? And if you turn to page 40, where we're going to go over quickly some of the shabads that are provided here to help clarify the notion, the meaning of the word karta. For example, in the first line, Sab teri kudrat tu qadar karta, baki nahi pak, from Asa Divar. Here, qadar karta is being used. Specifically, Guru Nanak is talking about God in the creator form, the creator, doer, God. And then, again, continuing the Asa Divar line, the second one, he takes care of his creations, right? He does not abandon his creation. He takes care of the creation, right? Samale sabnai. So similar to sambhalan karta, okay? And then data karta on the third line. Data karta aap tu tas deve kare pasao. Sorry, tus deve kare pasao. Again, talking about the idea that he is a giver God. Data karta. He gives, he provides. So just in a few lines of Barney, you've seen three different types of God the doer, karta. You have Qadar karta, you have Sambhalan karta, and you have Data karta. And other parts of Gurbani also talk about Sikavanar karta as well. So I hope this clarifies karta for you more, specifically the idea of what kind of creator is God. What does it mean for God to create as opposed to one of us creating? What is the difference between the two? And of course, the second part of this phrase is Purak. Purak literally, as your facilitator has told you, refers to a being. And the idea here is, again, talking about Sargun form, the physical form of God, the non energy form, but rather the type of God that is within every single living being that we can touch, feel, smell, etc. We can experience in the physical world. That God does not abandon his creation. He is Sargun form. He is present within his creation. So Purak, using the word being, reminds the reader that, Vaheguru Ji Akal Purak Vaheguru is a type of karta, a type of doer, a type of creator that is also a being because he is present in all of his creations. Okay, so that's why the word Purak is there to remind us that God, being the creator doer, is present as a being in all of his different creations. He does not abandon his creation, but rather he becomes a part of what he created. And looking at the extra Bani for the word Purak, again, you can read the lines after this, talking about the idea that you are within every single being. Here you have in each and every heart. Looking at Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Bani here, referring to the word Purak as well. Main ho param Purak ko dasa, dekhan ayo jagat tamasha. Again, using the word Purak, this supreme being that is being referred to here. So we hope this clarified Karta Purak some more. And again, talking about the Mool Mantra as a whole and Japji Sahib, the whole point of this course is to get deeper into the meanings and the words themselves, trying to get a deeper understanding of what is Guru Nanak Sahib trying to tell us here, what is he trying to teach us, and go beyond just the simple English translations, but rather get more complex and have a deeper, more complete understanding of the Bani that we're discussing. And with that, I will see you next week. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.